Criswell here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, where LC Bird today advanced to the 5A state championship game for the third year in a row, holding off Salem 21-13. The Salem Sun Devils, an excellent, well-coached team, but Bird finds a way to roll on.
They really did, and the game turned on a defensive play. Deshaun Dorsey's interception, more of an unforced error. That's how bad a throw it was. It was just, the receiver's supposed to be reading. And they're just not on the same page, and both Bird corners, Dorsey and Wilkins, were both peering back into the backfield. It allowed them to do run support, but it also allowed them to be ball hawking, and as we saw, when Salem threw the ball deep, it was almost always hotly contested.
Not only the corners, front line played great. Richard Ashby and Isaiah Moore had big games. Defense across the board was excellent, and so was the offense. Stephen Mines had an outstanding game. Jalen Elliott, 3 touchdown runs.
Yeah, the offense just didn't finish drives, and the Salem defense and these two teams, from a toughness and athleticism, were very, very similar in styles, and it made for the game to be, there were periods of the game where there were stalemates, and the game got almost a little stale, and then it would pick back up. But Bird had more big plays, and I think that's when you count it all up, 3 scores to 2. I think that's probably, how it's supposed to be.
Stephen Mines did much of the running today. J.B. Wright got dinged up a little bit. He was ready to go back in, but Mines was really dialed in today.
Yeah, you talked about the fact that he did a lot in a little bit of space, and I think you're right upon reflection of it. I was very, very big on Jalen Elliott's role in the offense, and it was important in important downs. And he almost converted a third and long, which would have iced the game a lot earlier, or helped ice the game a lot earlier. So the game turned on several pivotal points, but I think at the end, it's Bird's success in the playoffs. The fact that the kids have been there before made them up to the task of defending a very, very talented and very diverse offensive unit from Salem.
Now, of course, we had 2 teams coming into the weekend. Monacan suffered the heartbreaking loss Friday night to Lake Taylor on the field goal play that everybody's heard about by now. So let's not rehash that play right now, but just talk about what an incredible season Jim Henderson put together, moving that Monacan program forward.
Yeah, and that's going to be one that they can grow on, and I think there's some underclassmen involved in that, and that certainly will get the participation.
Yeah, freshman quarterback.
Yeah, I think that participation will be there, and the freshman quarterback's got 2 TDs, so he's got 2 scalps on his belt already, to use the Monacan chief.
Analogy. Yeah, with you. So
not politically correct, but still,
right.
A good analogy. So that was great. And then you tack on James Rivers' run in the playoff. It was a big year for the Dominion District.
Yes, it was. And it's not over yet, because the Skyhawks play on, and for the 3rd straight year will play for the 5A state championship. 2 years ago, the Skyhawks beat Ocean Lakes. Last year, beating Briarwoods. This year, it's Tuscarora, a team that is outstanding. You could hear it in David Bedwell's voice. He knows they got their hands full next week.
But they've known they've had their hands full before.
Right.
And this may well be it, but let's face it, we've seen some real epic battles. Last year, between these 2 teams, was an epic game, 7-3 game. They find ways to win. That's what made it so frustrating here today.
Because they dug a big hole last year against Briarwoods and came back and won.
Yeah, so they've won just about every kind of way you can win, and they've lost enough to know they don't like it.
Right.
And so that's what a title run's all about.
And the Skyhawks, before we go, just talk briefly about the meaning of having a team from our backyard playing in the state championship game 3 years in a row. It's just,
I didn't think it would ever happen.
Right, and so the status of football in the 804 in relation to the statewide level has really elevated.
Well, I thought if it ever happened where it wouldn't be the same team. It would be somebody out of the Bird-Dale rivalry, somebody out of the Verona-Holland Springs rivalry. Hermitage, and whoever they choose to be rivals with.
But Bird's just like, no, it's just going to be us.
It's just going to be us.
So we'll be there next Saturday at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. It's a 12:07 kick. It'll all be on your home for high school football, just like today, right here. Bird 21, Salem 13. He's Gary Criswell. I'm Gary Hess, and Fox Sports 910, your home for high school football.